Hey Sequence family, you are getting this video because you said that it was hard to stick with your exercise routine on account of being too busy. So there was too much going on and that made it hard to stick with whatever plan that we ended up making. I want to give you two different behavior change strategies. Oh, hey Scout. If that is something that you are currently dealing with, okay? So the first thing that I want you to focus on is giving yourself permission to do less. A lot of times people are exercising with the end goal of one, not only attaining all the health benefits associated with exercise, but in the hopes that they can form a routine where they don't necessarily have to rely so much on motivation to get their exercise going. Now, routine does not care about intensity. So a lot of people have this goal where they want to form a routine, and at the same exact time they think that they need to do these really intense workouts, and that's not conducive to how a routine is built. A routine is built by consistently acting irrespective and irregardless of how intensely you are acting. So the first thing that I would say, especially if you felt so busy that it was hard to exercise, is rather than not exercising at all, think to yourself, what's the minimum dose of what I need to do? And that might be only 5 minutes. So let's say you wanted to do a 30-minute strength training routine, but you're just so busy. Just two things. One, you can say to yourself, it's okay, I'm just gonna do 5 minutes and I can stop, because your routine still continues. You still get points towards the routine. And then that consistently makes it easier in the future to stick with that routine. So give yourself permission, put a stopwatch on, just say after 5 minutes, I can stop, and that's fine. So giving yourself permission to do that. I think a lot of times with exercise, the hardest part is getting started. So even just mentally knowing that you have permission to stop after 5 minutes might make that a little bit easier. So that's number one, is make the routine easier to complete by turning down that task demand dial. Okay, so that's step number one, make it easier. Step number two is called coping planning. This is when we anticipate a barrier that may come up that may make it challenging for you to act on whatever plan you made. So let's say you planned on doing strength training at 5 o'clock on a Monday. Well, what might come up? That could be situationally, that could be basically your own motivation. Things come up, you get busy, or maybe you're just not feeling like doing it. So the coping plan is, what do I do in those circumstances to make sure that I stick with my original plan? And this is going to be highly individualized. So I want you to think about that, is if this barrier comes up, then I will do this. So it's really like a pre-thought out script for how you will behave in the context of a situation that will make exercise challenging, okay? So if your barrier was, I was so busy and I didn't have the opportunity to exercise, one, make sure that you give yourself permission to make it easier. So again, intensity doesn't matter. It's consistency that matters in order for you to form a routine. You form a routine by consistently acting. So make it easier, and to anticipate what might make this challenging, and in advance make that coping plan. So those are going to be two scenarios or two behavior change techniques that I would like you to try out if you listed being so busy or being too busy as one of the barriers to exercise.